Hello everyone and welcome to another video where today I just wanted to give a quick explanation as to why I haven't been doing that many wild edibles or poisonous plants or even invasive species videos recently. And the issue is it's just a bad year for those type of plants. We had a very late frost, a wet spring, and a lot of wild animals. Honestly, probably more than the environment here could handle on a good year. A late frost means that some plants that like to flower or leaf out early couldn't, or they tried, they lost their leaves, they had to recuperate. And that means that these type of plants didn't make fruit this year. A wet spring also means that a lot of fruiting plants, like this hawthorn, succumb to fungal attacks on their fruit, like rust and whatever's happening with these guys. I haven't really seen any apples that aren't damaged to the point that they're inedible by human standards. We lost all the service berries to fungal rust, and I hope I can get at least one of these hawthorns that isn't inedible. Even with all this, however, there should have still been a few species that were unaffected by this, like the raspberries and blackberries. But unfortunately, there were too many herbivores around this year that it didn't matter. Unfortunately, this year there were dozens of bunnies, groundhogs, squirrels, chipmunks, far more than I think I've ever seen around, and there were no foxes or hawks early on to keep the numbers down. For anyone who might say, "Oh, isn't that so cute? I'd love to have that many bunnies around," this is ecologically very, very bad. While it varies from year to year, any given piece of land can only support a certain number of herbivores. Without enough carnivores to keep the herbivore numbers down, the number of herbivores will meet and exceed the carrying capacity of a given area. And when that happens, unfortunately, you get a lot of animals that are desperate and unwell. I've seen a lot of them that I don't think have diseases specifically, but they've definitely at least been eating stuff they shouldn't have. And a lot of other things, general aggressiveness between herbivores, territorialness, and herbivores proving that they are in fact omnivorous. I've seen a lot of baby birds unfortunately attacked by animals you would not think would attack them. The problem with this is that when it comes to showing you guys these wild edibles, I like to show you guys the plants as you would expect to find them in their edible state, or inedible in the case of toxic plants. And unfortunately, I can't do that in the case of edible plants or inedible ones that have berries if I can't find any berries to show you guys. Even on a good day, birds will tend to eat berries that are a little underripe because they're just looking to get nutrition. On a bad year like this, when there's not enough food to go around, they're looking to eat whatever they can get, and oftentimes I don't even get to see berries that are 1 to 2 days unripe. Luckily, however, the part about there not being any predators is very regional to this property and maybe the surrounding ones, but it does seem to have fixed itself. I have heard a couple of hawks screeching around in the air, and I did see a groundhog get attacked by a fox in broad daylight, so that seems to have fixed itself to some degree at the very least. But this is just sort of an update video and an explanation. I plan on going more in depth next year on this topic. I wanted to wait until next year specifically because, I'm still quite upset about this. One, because the groundhog, squirrels, and chipmunks ate all my tomatoes, and I am still very miffed about that. And also because, once you realize what's going on, you sort of feel for the animals because a lot of them are dealing with starvation, they can't get enough to eat. It is, unfortunately, a very difficult subject to cover. One, because it deals with a lot of heavy subjects, morality of nature and all those things. And two, you really have to make sure the arguments and what you're talking about is rock solid, because there's a large segment of people who, I see where they're coming from, but a lot of people will say, well, whatever nature does, just leave nature alone. I don't feel that way. But yeah, this video is just an off-the-cuff update, whereas that one is going to have to be well-researched, probably even scripted with points video that I'm going to need to put a lot of work into to get right. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully maybe in the fall we'll be able to find some wild edibles and poisonous plants to do. Anyway, hope you guys all learned something. See ya.